got to calm my mind down. I got so much to think about. Here we go. Hello, Facebook friends. Hello. Hello. What were we going to sing instead?
Hello, all my friends.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Because it's not going to be on Facebook tomorrow. Ready? Hello, all my friends. Hello. But maybe it's not all my friends. Maybe it's just some of them. Hello, lots of my friends. Hello. Hello. Should we start again? We'll leave this in because this will be funny for other people watching. What am I saying? All my friends. My brain is not functioning. I've had radio interviews and a show today and 3 meetings. So there we go. Hello, all my friends, hello. Hello, all my friends, hello. I'm feeling real silly, so let's start the show. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Go, 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 go. Boop. Did I do it right that time?
I think so, yeah.
Miss Christie's here. Say hi, Miss Christie. I'm forming my own furball here. Yeah, so sorry that took so long. We're out of time for today, so thank you for tuning in. Justin is saying, hi, Miss Christie.
Hello.
And other people are probably saying that too. Yeah. So the link will be for tomorrow night. So the link is going to be on my website, which is bigdaddytazz.com. And it's a Zoom link. And also I'll put it here, or I might have emailed it to you already. If you'd like it emailed to you, let me know and I'll send it to you as well. Show starts at 6:30 tomorrow, and not 7 o'clock. So it starts at 6:30, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Zoom interactive, and I have no idea what we're going to do. I have lots of plans, and I have less than 24 hours to get them going. So there we go. Where's the puppy? Well, Miss Christie, that's a good question. Where is the puppy?
I don't know.
Oh, Miss Christie doesn't know. She doesn't know that we have a puppy.
We don't have a puppy.
We have half a puppy.
We don't have a puppy.
Miss Christie needs a puppy. I hear what I want to hear.
Don't I know it?
Something about going snowing. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so here we go. Here's a couple of books. I picked this book for Miss Christie called Boys Don't Knit. So we'll see how this book is. And this book. So I'm very excited very excited. Oh, this might be too long. Oh, let's just read it. Here we go. Boys Don't Knit. And this is Dougie Spears and Dan lent me this book. It's by Janice Schoop, and it's illustrated by Laura Bingsinger. And this book is probably from 1980 something. I would think 1985. Let me see how close I am. 1986. Oh, that means I get a puppy eventually. Marvin hated his new sweater. It made him look like a stop sign. Well, it's hard to see in black and white, I suppose. "No, Marvin," said his mother, "your grandmother worked hard to make that sweater, and I want you to wear it when she comes to visit." "Oh, well, why do I have to put it on now?" he moaned. "Can't I wait till she gets here?" Marvin scratched all morning like a dog with fleas. "How long do I have to wear this silly sweater?" he groaned. It's funny that wool isn't itchy on sheep, and they don't shrink when it rains.
Maybe it is.
They can't scratch. "Well, Marvin," his mother reasoned, "it took a grandmother almost a week to knit that sweater. Almost a week. That's all it took to knit a sweater? Oh my gosh. At least you can do it and wear it all day." "All day?" said Marvin. "I'll go bonkers." "You won't go bonkers, but I might if you don't stop moaning and groaning," said his mother. "Why don't you go out and play?" "Are you kidding? I don't want anybody to see me in this stupid sweater." His mother shook her head. "Why don't you go to the movies then? And nobody will recognize you in the dark."
It depends on what kind of
Hey, Gay, how are you?
wool you're using for knitting and how big of a sweater you're making.
Okay. Well, if you use great big like that big around, it only takes 2 or 3 times to make a sweater. Marvin's Marvin's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea," he said. And a short time later, he called on his best friend, Elsa. "Hey, Elsa, want to go to the movies?" "Is that you in there, Marvin?" she said. "Yeah." "Why are you wearing a Halloween mask?" "I didn't want anybody to see me wearing this horrible sweater," he said. "I don't blame you. I bet you it glows in the dark." What's that? It'd be kind of cool if it glows in the dark, unless you're at a movie theater. Waiting in line at the movies, Marvis noticed a strand of wool dangling from the bottom of his sweater. He began to wrap it around and around and around his finger. The movie was so scary, but at the end, Marvin had unraveled his sweater up to his belly button. Do you remember when you said, "Don't pull that on my jacket, my wool jacket"? And I'm like, "Why?" And then I pulled it, and then we had to fix that. "Oh no," he cried. "My grandma's coming to visit, and I can't let her see what I've done." "You'll have to get it fixed when you get home," said Elsa calmly. "How can I fix it?" said Marvin. "Can I fix it?" said Marvin hopefully. "I can't knit." "Didn't your mother teach you?" "Fat chance," said Elsa. "My mom doesn't even know how to knit. Did your mother ever teach you?" I like his freaking out face. Wow! I think I'll read Howard B. Wigglebottom tomorrow, because that's the first book I read.
Okay.
And I think that's Justin's favorite. That's Justin's favorite book, too. "Boys don't knit," shouted Marvin. "They do sew," said Elsa. "My grandfather knits. He made me this sweater, but I don't like it. I think it makes me look like a banana. He might help you." And off they raced to Elsa's grandfather's house. This book would be way more effective if it was in color. Because you're just assuming the cover has. Oh, there you go. There's the same picture right there. There's the same picture, and then that's the picture. That's it. This is what you see, and apparently this is what a dog sees. If we had a puppy, we could ask him.
I don't think so.
If we had a puppy, we wouldn't need binoculars, Christy. That's science.
That's not science.
There's quite a problem you got here, Marvin said Elsa's grandfather, looking at the sweater. "Can you fix it before I get home?" Marvin asked. "I'll have to hurry, but I think I can do it," replied Elsa's grandfather. "It'd be a shame if I couldn't fix it. It's such a nice sweater." See, I think sometimes you get a chance to be too picky, and then... Yeah. "Do you really think so?" said Marvin, looking more closely at the sweater. "I sure do. I bet you it's warm, and I bet you it's a cheerful color, too. Your grandmother is a mighty fine knitter." Marvin stared with fascination at the flying fingers and clicking needles. He'd never seen anybody knit before. With a twist and a loop and a flick of the needles, his sweater got longer and longer and longer. "That's neat," said Marvin. "How do you know how to knit? Boys don't knit." "Boys' fingers are as nimble as girls, and boys can learn just as easily," answered Elsa's grandfather. "I can't. You tried to show me how to knit, and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it."
Interest has to be a part of the equation.
Sorry? What did you say?
Yeah.
Joking. Yeah, it does have to be part of the equation. And plus my hands don't work as well. Remember, because of the accident, and they don't work. My thumb, I was having trouble holding the stuff. Right? "I learned when I was in the Navy. An old shipmate of mine used to knit his own socks. And at first I laughed at him. Then a few months at sea, my socks had more holes than a spaghetti strainer. And I stopped laughing at my shipmate and asked him to teach me how to knit. It was fun." There you go. I get these guys were closely knit. They're tightly knit family there. Are you going to nitpick that one? Another knit joke. I'm out. "Do you know how to make socks, Grandpa?" Elsa asked. "Sure do, and scarves and hats and sweaters too. Once you know the stitches, you can knit just about anything." "Anything?" Marvin wondered. "Like a secret pocket? A hat for my hamster? A scarf for my grandmother?" In no time, the job was done.
Knitting
Hamster
is a
hats.
very good skill to have.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
Albert and his friend Cameron would cross-stitch. Yeah, Miss Christie cross-stitches all the time. She's already got the cross part done. right? Because you just make a little cross like that, and then you make the whole, like it's just a whole bunch of crosses that make a big. You thought I was going to go with your angry cross, right? I was going to. Thank you, said Marvin, and he slipped the mended sweater over his head. I guess boys can knit, after all. Could you teach me how? He asked shyly. I guess that's not shyly. Could you teach me how? Said Elsa. I'd be delighted to teach you, Marvin, said Elsa's grandmother, and Marvin hurried home with a smile on his face. Well, you couldn't see because he couldn't get the sweater over his head. That part I just added. Marvin was late and his grandmother had already arrived. He jumped into her arms and gave her a big hug. Thanks to the shredder for the terrific sweater. You're a mighty fine knitter. Well, every day after school, Marvin raced over to Elsa's grandfather's house for a knitting lesson. It was difficult at first to make his fingers do what they were supposed to do, but soon he could knit and purl and slip stitch. Is that a thing? A slip stitch?
Pardon me?
Is a slip? Do you have your headphones? Or you have your? She's got her earplugs in, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, and then I go, is a slip stitch something? She's like, pardon me? Is it a slip stitch something?
Yeah,
a
well,
knit,
there's
purl,
lots of
slip
different
stitch.
types
Okay.
of stitches. Yeah.
Until finally he was finished his very first project, a long red scarf for his grandmother. I remember one time my mom, Missy will remember this, my sister Missy, she'll remember this. Mom made me a scarf, but she would like get distracted and talk, so the scarf was this big and that long. Like instead of being, it was like it was square. So yeah, she just had to knit it. Oh, he's very proud of that. Look at that. He's made himself a sweater. No, a scarf. Which is just a sweater without arms, if you think about it. It's a sweater for your neck. Oh, how to make your own scarf. It tells you right there. So if you want to quickly do that, and then later on you guys can make me one for tomorrow. There you go. Boys don't knit. Yes, they do. I guess they do. Lots of people knit.
It isn't very common, but some of the most famous pattern designers right now are actually men.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's not a. I think back in the day it was because a lot of the times when the wives were knitting and stuff, the guys were out like on the farm and doing those sort of chores. So I think it maybe became traditionally that sort of thing to do, right? And you make me socks at least once a year.
correct.
You used to make them more when I had TV shows. She'd always make me a pair for my TV shows. So maybe I need a TV show. Let's pretend this is a TV show, and then Miss Christie will make me a pair of socks tonight, and they'll be ready tomorrow.
They won't be ready tomorrow. Not unless it takes about 10 hours per sock. So.
Okay, so it'll be ready tomorrow night.
No. Fingers get sore.
I'm sorry to hear that. But no puppy.
No.
Miss Christie, the nutty knitter, maybe you should knit. She can knit me a puppy. Can you knit me a puppy?
No.
You can knit me a puppy.
No.
Why can't you knit me a puppy? I'm going to have
dangerous territory.
It's not dangerous. How is knitting me a puppy a dangerous territory?
You just want more?
See, if we had a puppy, we wouldn't even need socks. That's science.
That is not science.
That is for sure.
That is
for sure.
No,
Yeah?
explain yourself.
Okay. Where does a dog like to sleep? Right at your feet. Your feet don't get cold. You don't need socks. End of story.
What are you going to
Science.
do when you go for a walk?
You don't go for a walk.
You have to take your dog for a walk.
Oh, then you have other socks. Like I didn't say you didn't need any socks. I said you don't need socks. So that's the whole thing, really. I wish she would just not, I don't know what's going on with her. Here's a book I'm going to read to you. It's also Dougie Spears and Diane had lent it to me. It's called I'll Always Love You. And I thought this was a nice book to end the last evening of the first year. How's that? Oh, yeah, because tomorrow's technically the first evening of the next year. Or is it the very last evening of the second first year?
Does it matter?
I'm going to read this book. This book is by Hans Wilhelm, and it's by Crown Publishers. I bet you this book is from 1985. And it is, because I saw that before I said it. This is a story about Elfie, the best dog in the whole world. It's a dog book to convince Miss Christie that she wants to get me a
Still no.
How can you hear that? But then I ask you, hey, is Slip Stitch? You're like, she knows my mischievous voice. I'll just let you look at these pictures there. We grew up together, but Elfie grew much faster than I did. I loved resting my head on her warm coat, and we would dream together. See, if we had a puppy, we wouldn't need a pillow. That's pretty much science.
It's not science.
My brother and sister loved Elfie very much, but she was my dog. There you go. If we had a dog, we wouldn't need pants. That's science.
That is definitely not science.
Look, you could.
And the neighbors, oh, they would be quite upset.
I don't have to look at our windows. Every day, Elfie and I played together. Now they're playing at the beach. Got the sun hat on, and then I like this book. I'm going to give you the sweater for the book there because it's getting in the... Oh, maybe not. I think it's attached. Elfie loved to chase squirrels. So today, during my presentation, we have a big squirrel and then a little squirrel, and they were chasing each other around on the fence, and I was like, doing that. And somebody goes, do you have squirrels running around or something? And I took the camera and I showed them. Yep. And to dig in my mother's flower garden. Uh-oh. If we had a puppy, we wouldn't need a flower garden. Sometimes my folks would get very angry with Elfie when she would get into mischief, but they still loved her, even when they scolded her. There you go. If we had a puppy, we wouldn't need to have a Betamax machine.
We
That's
already
just
do not
saying.
need to have a Betamax.
That's because eventually we're getting a puppy. I already plan ahead, Miss Christie. I'm planning ahead.
No.
The trouble was, they never told her. They thought Elfie knew they loved her. I think that's the difference between a cat and a dog, right? A cat's like, everything's your fault, and a dog is like, everything's my fault. I think so. The years passed quickly, and while I was growing taller and taller, Elfie was growing rounder and rounder.
Okay, this book is not going to make me cry, is it?
I don't know. I haven't read this book, to be honest with you. The older Elfie got, the more she slept, and the less she liked to go for a walk. I was getting worried. I have to show Dougie this book because that's Lily. That's what she'll do. She'll go, we're going for a walk, and her skin will move, but the dog won't. We took Elfie to the vet, but there wasn't much he could do. Elfie's just growing old, he said. It soon became too difficult for Elfie to even climb the stairs, but she had to sleep in my room. I gave Elfie a soft pillow to sleep on, and before we went to sleep I would say to her, "I'll always love you." I knew she understood. One morning I woke up and discovered that Elfie had passed away during the night. I didn't know this was coming. We buried Elfie together and we all cried and hugged each other. My brother and sister loved Elfie a lot, but they were never told her so. I was very sad too, but it helped to remember that I had told her that very night, every night, that I will always love you. Maybe I should have picked a different book. A neighbor offered me a puppy. I knew Elfie wouldn't have minded, but I said no. I gave him Elfie's basket instead. He needed it more than I did. Someday I'll have another dog, or a kitten, or a goldfish, but whatever it is, I'll tell it every night. I'll always love you. No. Now I got tears. Miss Christie too. Well, that's yeah. That's sometime I should probably read all the way through a book before I just glance. Well, it's a really good book. It's a really lovely book. But now we have to read something silly because I can't go to bed like that. Let's read. Let's read this one. This one seems like it will be a. There we go. Let's read this. The Very Sleepy Bear. How's that? Oh my gosh. I got tears. So tonight we're going to read 3 books. Hey Taz, how are you, buddy? That was a very beautiful book. It's just, So let's read The Very Sleepy Bear because let's just read that. Nick Bland. Winter had come early, and the bear was running late. He was feeling very sleepy. It was time to hibernate. He hurried down the mountain, past icy rocks, and he never ever noticed a rather sneaky fox. It's hard to get into this book right now. At last he reached his cozy cave, just in time for bed. Then Fox appeared from nowhere. "Good afternoon," he said. "I couldn't help but notice that your cave is very small. There's hardly any room in here for to hibernate at all. And a great big bear like you," said Fox, "so big and strong and brave, a creature so magnificent, deserves a bigger cave." "A bigger cave for me," yawned Bear. "Perhaps you could be right. I must admit, this cave is getting rather tight." "Oh, today's your lucky day," said Fox. I've come to the cave. I've got just the cave for you. I'll even help you pack," he said. "I've nothing else to do." So Bear packed up his suitcase, and he gave a little wave. He left his cozy home behind to find a bigger cave. I'm just going to give Miss Christie a hug because she's sad. I'm sorry the book made you sad. "Forget about your little cave," said Fox. "This huge one could be yours. There's heaps of room to hibernate, and it's even got 2 doors. Well, that doesn't seem like it's going to be very safe. This looks like it's the beginning of a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner movie. "It's absolutely waterproof, free from snow and rain, and once a day at 2 o'clock, you get to see a train whoosh. The fox was smiling nervously, and Bear just shook his head. "I'm feeling very sleepy. I'm going home," he said. But you're so very big," said Fox, "and your cave is so very small. You really need a bigger cave. A cave that's nice and tall. This one's made of solid wood, and not a train in sight." And never mind the bats, said the fox. They'll be out all night. Fox was smiling nervously, and the bear just shook his head. Oops. The bear just shook his head. I'm feeling very sleepy. I'm going home, he said. But wait, there's another cave, if that one's not for you. It's got a sandy floor, said Fox, and a lovely ocean view. I'll take it, said Sleepy Bear, and shook the fox's hand. He took his favorite pillow out and curled up in the sand. But just as Bear was nodding off inside the brand new cave, there came a splishy splashy sound. And then there came a wave. Splooshy. Bear was cold and cranky and very, very tired. He packed his little suitcase up. I'm going home, he sighed. When Bear arrived back home at last, ready for his bed, Fox and all his little friends were living there instead. Please don't throw us out, said Fox. We're all so very small. You'll hardly notice we're living here at all. Well, today's your lucky day, said Bear as he laid upon the floor. Wake me up, his spring, he said, and by the way, I snore. There you go. So 3 books tonight. That was what we did. We read 764, 765, and 766. Those are the books that we read tonight. So thank you very much. Tomorrow night, I'm still sad from that other book. It was a beautiful book, though. It was a lovely, lovely book. Some books are sad. And you know what? That book just reminds me to tell the people around me how much I love them. And because I often forget. We almost always forget to tell the people closest to us that we love them, right? And so, yeah, I think that we have to do that more often, I think. And, show our pets love and stuff like that. Yeah. I love you, Miss Christie.
I love you too, Tazzy.
I'm sorry the book made you cry.
It's not your fault.
I know, but so I still deserve a puppy, really.
No.
I did, so I do.
No.
Okay, I'm not even going to argue. Till tomorrow. So tomorrow, please tune in at 6:30. We will get started as soon as there's a bunch of people on the Zoom. The link will be on my website, Big Daddy Tazz, 2 Z's, at, .com. I almost gave an email address for no reason. And it'll also be on my Facebook page as well. We are limited to 100 people that can watch and interact like this. I'm looking forward to interacting with you. But if there's more than 100 people, which I'm not sure there really would be, I don't know, they can still watch on Facebook. We're going to stream it live, simulcast it's called, and it's going to be streamed live on Facebook and YouTube as well. So thank you very much. The books we read today were Very Sleepy Bear, I'll Always Love You, and what was the other book we read? Where did the book go, Miss Christie? That's odd. Did I give it to you?
No.
Oh, I put it back in there. Oh, Boys Don't Knit. That was it. So there you go. I'm going to read... You should read The Velveteen Rabbit next. No, enough crying for right now. That's the Velveteen Rabbit. Yeah. Barb. I will read that one night because so many people have asked me to read it. Miss Yaz, make sure that you brush your teeth before you go to bed, please. And everybody, good night. Good night, Justin. Thank you very much for being our friend. I hope you're feeling better. I forgot to ask you how Mom and Dad are doing and that sort of stuff. But we will get going because, yeah, I'm going to go have a little cry, to be honest with you, because I feel happy, but that book made my heart feel sad. That's all. So there you go. And remember, it's okay if you had tears, and I had tears, and I used to be embarrassed to have tears in front of everybody, but now it's not a big deal because it's just part of me. It's part of who I am. And if somebody wants to get make fun of me because I have tears, they're not a very good friend, to be honest with you, right? Remember, we talk about big circle and small circle. I let a lot of people in my big circle, but my small circle, that's who all the people that I can feel comfortable having tears in front of or being upset. Because remember, we always say it's okay to get mad, it's okay to get sad, it's okay to be frustrated with the situation. But ABK, we have to always be kind. Always be kind, always be kind. I promise myself to try to always be kind. And we say try because sometimes our anger or our emotions work faster than our heart does. Sometimes our hands work faster than our brain does. And that happens. And then you have to say, I'm sorry, and we'll start again, right? That's what we do. So, good night, Facebook friend. Good night, all my friends. Good night. Good night, all my friends. Good night. May your dreams be cheery and your dreams be bright. Good night, all my friends. Good night. Sleep tight, Facebook friends. Sleep tight. I said it. Sleep tight, Facebook friends. Sleep tight. May your dreams be so silly till the morning light. Good night, all my friends. Good night. Good night, everybody. Have yourself a really great day. Lots of love from Miss Christy and I. And for me, it's I love you forever, and that makes me cry all the time. I have never, because we've read that book probably 5 times or so in the course of it. It always makes you cry. It always makes me cry. So there you go. Good night, everybody, and take the time to make sure that you tell the people around you how much you love them. Good night.